Hello everyone, TimeToGrind here, and today we finally got Sombra announced. So they were announced at BlizzCon after, months and months and months of this huge ARG that, we've been jumping through strings. And I've already talked about how much I think I've hated this ARG because of how long it's gone on and how drawn out it is. But it is finally coming to a close. So on the Play Overwatch website, we have a new short, we have all of the lore behind Sombra and all of her abilities. So the most important part is the abilities part. So I wanted to go ahead and give you guys kind of her backstory and then also her actual abilities and then kind of my thoughts on them and what I think that it's going to do to the meta, I guess. So to start us off, the backstory was before Sombra was Sombra, she was kind of part of the thousands of children who became orphans due to the Omnic crisis. With almost everything destroyed, she survived by utilizing her natural gifts of hacking and working with computers. After something or someone was taken by the Los Muertos gang, she helped a revolution against the government, and they believed that rebuilding Mexico had only really helped the rich and did nothing to the poor, and that's why they were actually revolting against the government. So after many missions and conquests, she was extremely confident in her skills, but she got caught up in some sort of global conspiracy, and she had her security compromised. She had to delete all traces of herself and go into hiding. She then later re-emerged as Sombra and was on a mission to determine the truth behind the conspiracy she uncovered. After a while, Talon took interest in her and she joined them and has been doing major weird cyber attacks against corporations that have strong ties to their government. And of course, in good old Sombra fashion, there's a lot of words and text kind of supposedly quote-unquote hacked out of the backstory and stuff. So that's, there's a few pieces of information we don't know too much, but we get the general gist of her backstory along with the short. And I'd highly recommend you to watch that. It's definitely one of the better ones. But now what I consider the most important about all of this, and those are her abilities, what actually makes her, her. So she has a just normal machine pistol. It's a fully automatic machine pistol that fires kind of in a short range spread, which is what we were all expecting since we had gotten that leak of the artwork from that one news article a while ago. Then she has an ability, and it's Hack, and Sombra hacks enemies to temporarily stop them from using their abilities, or she can also hack first aid kits to make them useless to her opponents. So this is going to be really important because especially in high, competitive levels of the game, if someone's getting close to using their ultimate or, there's so many uses for this, and I feel like it's going to be something where you have to kind of get used to and get better at it because there's a lot of potential to waste the ability, but if you can use it at the right moments, especially because it isn't an ultimate, it's going to be super, super important. You can use it if people are trying to use their abilities at, their movement abilities to get out of danger. So if a tracer's cornered, you can hack her and she can't backtrack, she can't do her dashes or anything like that. That's really huge. And you can also use it defensively. So say you see Farah, getting ready to ultimate, hack him, and she can no longer ultimate, and then that would actually make her, I don't know if that would make her jetpacks, make her not be able to use her jetpacks. I think it might be able to. And then also, of course, if you, very more situational, but if you see anyone trying to get some first aid kits or whatever, you can prevent them from doing that. Then she has kind of her ability, that's her stealth ability. She becomes it's Therm Optic. There we go. That's what it is. Therm Optic camo. And Sombra becomes invisible for a short period of time, during which her speed is boosted considerably, but attacking or using offensive abilities or taking damage disables her camouflage. So the thing is it doesn't necessarily, I don't know if hack is considered an offensive ability though. So you may be able to use that from when you're invisible. And so I don't know necessarily if this is something where we're not going to be able to see her at all, or if she's, going to be completely 100% invisible. She's getting put in the game next week, so we'll have to find out either sometime from now to then. But hopefully it's not too annoying. The fact that she does get her speed boosted a lot while in the actual invisibility is going to make it a lot more annoying than if it didn't. As an example, if you ever played TF2 with the Spy after they attempted to do a bunch of balance changes, I can't remember which one of it was either some knife or some cloak and dagger thing, or maybe not the cloak and dagger, maybe it was the default, I'm not sure, but you got a ridiculous speed boost after backstabbing someone. And so she doesn't look like, she is an offensive hero, but she doesn't look like she has a lot, of potential to do offensive stuff, I guess. So it doesn't like, she can't just insta kill someone unless, maybe she walks up and gets a headshot to a sniper that's just standing still. But so we'll have to see how that works out. From the description of it, we can't really see how it's going to feel in gameplay. Even if we see a little gameplay, we're going to need to play the game for a while and see how it works out before we realize how annoying or overpowered or useless this ability is actually going to be. So then she has a translocator, and it's Sombra tosses out a translocator beacon. She can instantly return to the beacon location while it is active, including when it's in mid-flight. So that's going to be pretty interesting, especially because she can throw it, and so that's going to allow her to get into some really weird positions. And it's not like it's not going to be something where she's using it a lot to get out of combat necessarily, because of the fact that in the time, it's going to take too much time for the thing to actually get thrown far enough to the point where teleporting to it would actually be useful, because it's going to take 3 seconds, 4 seconds for it to get in a safe position if you're even throwing it correctly. And waiting that long, if you're needing to get out of combat, 3 to 4 seconds, you're going to be dead anyways. So it's definitely something that looks like it's just going to allow her to get into a lot of weird positions, which is also going to be good though, because say there's a Widow that's in a really weird place or something, or a Hanzo, she can actually go invisible, use her translocator, if that's considered not an offensive ability. I don't think it is. And get into some really weird positions. So I think it's a lot more for movement rather than like escaping, but it's definitely really nice. And then her ultimate is EMP, and Sombra discharges huge energy in a wide radius, destroying enemy barriers and shields and hacking all opponents caught in the blast. So this seems like, oh, what, you're just gonna take down a Reinhardt shield and a Winston bubble and all this stuff. But the thing is it's also going to hack all of them, meaning they can't do anything for a few seconds, and that's going to be huge, especially comboing with other abilities and whatnot. So she is another offensive hero. We'll definitely have to see how much she changes the meta when she's actually in, but she seems really strong just because of the fact that she has the hack and the EMP. The camo seems like, the invisibility, the thing we were all scared about for the longest time, that's not even seems what's going to be broken. It's going to be the hacking and EMPing, especially at high, levels of the game. But we're definitely going to have to wait out until she gets put in the game and, actually testing it out for ourselves. But overall, I think she's going to be a pretty strong character. I don't think you're going to pick her necessarily if you need the most, damage on your team, because I don't feel like she's going to have the most damage output like a lot of other offensive heroes, but her utility is just going to be through the roof. So I definitely think she's going to be interesting, and hopefully, her stealth isn't super strong. At least it's not disguising into enemies, so you're constantly having to shoot at your teammates to see if they're even your real teammates. But, so that was kind of my little overview. When she does get added to the game, I will try to get some gameplay and, kind of my thoughts on the channel as soon as possible. But until then, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And if you enjoyed it, then consider leaving a like down below and subscribing to see more Overwatch content and news. Like always, guys, see you next time.